So why would you want an e-bike? Well, that's what I asked myself, and my reasons for wanting an e-bike were to get me out riding bikes. I have conventional bikes that are fun to ride every once in a while, short distances, but not really good at climbing hills with them, going long distances, and my knee has been bothering me for a few months, and so I myself considered an e-bike. When I was looking at e-bikes, I looked up a few different manufacturers. Sondor's was one, Electric was another one. Who else did I look at? Sondor's, Electric, Rydell. So I was looking at a few e-bikes for a couple of weeks, and I really liked, Aventon was another bike company. Aventon has a Cinch, which is a nice bike. I was looking for a foldable bike. I wanted something that I can throw in the car and take with me. So that was a must. I looked at the Aventon Cinch, I looked at Rydell, and I also looked at Sondor's. Sondor's has a foldable bike, and I forgot the name of it, the XS or the X, and it looked nice, but they had a 3-month wait, and the only color that they had, one bike, and the only color they had was the torch red or something like that, which was a little bit too bright for me. So I continued my search, and I came across this company called G-Force behind me, and right when I saw it, no, actually I went on Amazon and looked at bikes to see what Amazon was selling, and I saw this bike. So I clicked on it, went to the website and did a little bit more research on it. Turns out they're a company, they have a website, they've done a few other bikes, and the website is nicely laid out. They did spend some time, either photographing or doing CG for their bikes, so they really put in the time to do that, and everything was very detailed, so that interested me, and I looked at what was available as far as the components of the bike and what was important to me, and I'll talk a little bit more about that for this bike. But basically, the G-Force, and this is their T42 model, it's a fully foldable bike. The handlebars fold, the seat comes off, and so far it had everything that I wanted, and their attention to detail is what pretty much convinced me to go with them or try them out. They didn't have too many reviews on Facebook. On YouTube. I think they only have like 2 reviews. But I went ahead and give them a try. Now, they're not a big brand behind, they don't have a brand behind them like Aventon does and Sondor's does, and maybe that's why they have to charge what they do for their bikes, because they have a whole support center to pay, a bunch of employees, this and that. Well, G-Force sounds like, they have quality bikes, yet they don't have that big support center behind you. Now, granted, I did contact them for support a couple of times, and they responded pretty quickly, within a day, and answered the questions that I had asked. So they do have support, and they have a phone number and an email that you can call. So so they did answer my questions. So I purchased the bike through Amazon. It was $12.99, and it took about a week to get here, and it arrived in a big box. And what they do with these bikes is they package them in this spray foam. So they wrap the bike, and then they put it in a box, and then they spray foam it, and then they seal it with a bag, and it really protects the bike. So that was a nice surprise to see that they did that and took the time to really protect the bikes for shipping. These bikes ship out of Southern California. I believe it's Ontario, and that's California. They ship them out of a warehouse, I believe. And yeah, it took about a week to get here. And what I'll do now is I'm just gonna go over the bike itself. I've had it for about 2 weeks. I've ridden it about 150 miles. And just today I did almost 40 miles on the bike. And I still had 2 bars left of power for the bike. They claim on the website that you can get about 30 to 40 miles on these batteries. These are the 10.4 amp hour, or is it milliamp? I'm not sure. Batteries that are common to this frame type. And you'll see this frame type, I think the electric XP2 is also using this frame type. They look very similar. So the battery is pretty common for this frame type. And most of them will claim it's about 30, 40, even 50 miles. And I will say that with this bike, it is possible to do that. Like I said, I had 2 bars left and I was 39 miles. So I did a 39-mile ride. I had 2 bars left. And this was a trail by my house that had some, shallow climbs and some descents where I didn't have to pedal. So it averaged out, and I still have 2 bars left, almost 40 miles on the bike. So it is doable. You just have to manage your output. And this bike comes from the factory preset with the settings, which was one of the questions that I asked G-Force when I got the bike, because as soon as I would get on the bike and start pedaling, the bike wanted to jump to 15 miles an hour, nothing less. So I couldn't pedal with an assist at 8 miles an hour. It would jump to 15 miles an hour. So it was a big jump. And I wasn't sure if that was the way the bike was or if there was some tweaking that I had to do. And basically the company sent me some information that I was able to go into the computer of the bike and program it the way I like to. They don't offer this on their website. Like, there's no instructions on programming the computer. I don't know why. But after I asked them, they sent me some YouTube videos that showed how to do it. So basically, yeah, so once I programmed the computer, got it to where I wanted it, everything pretty much worked out the way I like it. So I have it set for 5 levels of pedal assist. From the factory, it comes with 3 levels. So you can program this computer to go I think you can do, I'm not sure if you can do 1 level, but you can do 3, you can do 5, and I believe you can do 9 levels of pedal assist. And every level of pedal assist, you can assign your maximum speed for every level. So I believe I have it where level 1 gets me up to about 6 miles an hour. Level 2 gets me to, let's say, 13, 14 miles an hour. Level 3 gets me a little bit higher than that, 20. Level 4, 22, 24, and then level 5. Sorry, my phone fell again. Level 5 gets me the top speed, which is about 28 miles an hour. I've hit 30 a couple of times with a full battery, so it'll do it, but not too often, but it'll definitely do 28 miles per hour. And I'm 5'10" and about 190 pounds. So definitely you have to program these bikes to suit your needs and what you want to use them for. So I did it with this bike. Overall, I'm extremely happy with the bike. It says and does everything that they say it does. The components, they thought about the components, and I guess with these bikes, you know, there's a few manufacturers that make the same frame, so companies will come and they'll put their names on the bikes and sell them. But clearly, I mean, this bike frame is very common. I've seen a few bikes with it. It just depends on what the seller of the bike, what kind of components they want to integrate into the bike and at what price range. So I think with G-Force, they were at a pretty comfortable price range for the components for the bike. So I will go ahead and just go through the bike itself, and talk a little bit more about it, let's say starting from the back of the bike. So this bike comes with the fat tires, the 20, I think it's 20-inch 4.0 wide fat tires with the spokes. The bike does have hydraulic brakes, which hydraulic disc brakes. So when you're looking at brakes, you know, there's mechanical brakes and there's hydraulic brakes. And with the mechanical brakes, the piston only pushes the rotor on one side of the brake or of the rotor. So it pretty much presses it against the wall of the caliper or the brake itself to stop the bike. So it's only getting force on one side, and I've heard over time that this can cause the rotor to bend or wobble or other things. So with the hydraulic brakes, you're getting an even amount of pressure on both sides of the rotor, which, you know, gives you even braking. And I've heard that they're not noisy compared to mechanical brakes. So this bike comes with the hydraulic brakes. It comes with the grips they feel like they're leather, but I'm sure they're not leather, but that's what they feel like, and they are comfortable. I don't plan on changing those out at all. It comes with the thumb throttle on the left. And I like thumb throttles. I don't like the twist throttles because I just feel like you have to have your wrist cranked, you know, all the time, and the bike can get loose on you if you you know, give it unnecessary flick of the wrist. The bike can take off. So I like the fact that you can have a thumb throttle, and this one's on the left side. It comes with your standard, the brakes, I believe, are XOD, I think it's the brand. I'm not 100% sure, but the brakes work well. They're very responsive. The rotors are 180 millimeter rotors. So the brakes feel good. They're not noisy at all. What else? The stem obviously goes up and down. I have it at the most bottom position. I feel that the stem could possibly be a little bit lower to start and then rise up. It goes up a considerable amount, but I have it all the way at the bottom. It does have a light. I don't know if you can see it from here. There it is. It's a pretty powerful light. The actual beam that it emits is a little weird. It's kind of like there's a hard edge on the top, and then it softens on the bottom. So it's not a circular projection of light, but it does a job. It's bright, and it's connected directly to the battery. So it's getting its power from the battery. We also have shocks in the front with a locking mechanism. If you're just planning on riding, you know, street, and you don't need shocks, you can lock them or you can unlock them, and there's springs inside the shocks that give you that absorb, you know, the shocks. And on the other side of the shocks, there's this adjustment that you can make. I believe it's just the stiffness of the shocks themselves. So we talked about the light. We talked about the shocks. The battery sits inside here, and it does have a key on the bottom that you turn to release the battery. This bike in particular will run without the key inserted. I know some bikes don't do that and you have to have the key inserted. This one you don't. You can pull the key out and the bike will run. So yeah, when I get home, I take the battery out of the bike and just charge it on the wall. So yeah, you don't need the key. You can unplug the key to start the battery. Start the bike. What else? I'm not going to get into like specs of the flywheel and the derailleur and all that. It's the entry-level Shimano, which is pretty common what these bikes come with, just to keep the price points low. On this bike, it works really well. There are times where you're going to shift from third to fourth, but it doesn't go in, and you have to kind of double shift and then back off one, and it's pretty common on the entry-level Shimano stuff, but it doesn't bother me. It works most of the time. I'd say 80% of the time, 85% of the time, and if that's something that you really want it to work better, then that's something that you can consider upgrading on the bike, is getting a better quality shifting system. This bike comes with a 500 watt motor. I'm not sure if it's the Bafang motor, but feels powerful. I take this bike on some hills behind my house, and they are not paved, they're rocky, and this bike takes me all the way up there, no problem at all. It's about a 2-mile street ride to get to the top, and then I can take trails once I get up there. And I've pretty much gone on most trails, no problem at all on the motor. I'm giving it a little bit of pedal assist, maybe level 3, and a very low gear, and it takes the hills no problem, so you don't have to worry there. And like I said, with good pedal assist management, yes, you can ride this bike for 40 miles. I got back with 2 bars left, 39 miles, so I'm sure that I can go another 10 to 15 miles before the battery runs out. So we are looking at about 40 to 50 miles on this bike, depending on how you ride. I haven't tested it throttle only, so I don't know. There's another video that I've seen that someone got about 19 miles on it, throttle only, full throttle. So yeah, I haven't tried that yet. So now I'm gonna just talk about a couple of things in detail about the bike, and I'll grab the phone for that. Okay, so here's a quick view of the computer or the controller or whatever you call it on the bike. I have not charged the battery since this last ride, so as you can see, 38.8 miles, almost 40 miles, and the battery is still showing 3 bars left. It goes from 2 to 3, but right now it's showing 3 bars, so I feel like I can easily do another 10 to 15 miles before that battery runs out. But honestly, my butt was getting sore, and I was just over it with the sun and all that, so that's what I got out of it. But what I did want to show was how to adjust the pedal assist on this bike. So if some of these bikes might have this computer, and this might be common, this bike has a plus and minus for the pedal assist. It's got a little horn on the bottom. That's what it sounds like. Here's your throttle and your brakes, and these are the handlebar grips. They've got some stitching on them, which is really nice. A little attention to detail there. Those are your brakes right here. But going back to here, so to get into the menus, if you hold down the plus and minus once, it'll put you into the, oops, I had the motor going there. If you hold it down once, it'll put you into the basic menu, which is here, and this is just to reset your trip counter, and that's what that does. Part 2 is the I believe is the backlight display for here, and then 3, I forgot what that is, but if you hold it down again, here's where you go into the system menu, which there's a few things on here that I had to ask the manufacturer, the people that I bought the bike from, you know, what it all meant, and they did send me a video on it. But I just want to show you the part with the pedal assist. So I think it's this one. So I'm going to hold down this info button here, and it goes into the pedal assist. Now here's where you can choose how many levels of pedal assist you want, and this is where I'm at. I'm 0 to 5. 0 meaning there's no pedal assist at all, and 5 is the maximum. So I can cycle through these, and you can do 1 to 5, 0 to 7, 1 to 7, 0 to 9, 1 to 9. So those are all the options that you have. I think 9 is too much. So I think 0 to 5 is perfect. And once you hit the info button again, now it's going to ask you level 1, the amount of power that you want the motor supplied, power supplied to the motor. So it's not in miles per hour, so you just have to guess at this number and ride the bike and figure it out for yourself. But for me, I think 20 is about 8 miles an hour, 6 to 8 miles an hour on level 1. Then it goes into level 2. I increase the number to 40, which gets me about I want to say about 13 to 15 miles an hour. Then level 3, you just increase the numbers and land where you want it to be. And then obviously 5 is 100%. So this is key to get your bike dialed into how you want it for your riding, you know, your riding style, how you want to ride it. So I think this is very important that you know, the G-Force, or the people that are selling the bike, they don't really go into detail on this. You know, the bike just came and it was set to 3, and you know, I would just pedal very, very lightly and it would automatically go to 15 miles an hour. And so I'm glad I was able to figure this part out by calling them and them sending me that information. So to get out of this, you just hold the I button down and it comes out of that screen. So there's other features that this bike does. It does have cruise control function. It does have a walking the bike function where you just hold this down and then you can walk the bike. The motor will kick in just a little bit. 7 speeds, basically the thumb to increase increase the level. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 7, hitting the thumb, and then this goes down to lower gears. Again, nice handlebars. Over here, you know, tires are nice. It has the light, like I mentioned, the suspension. The seat comes with you know, this recessed part on the seat, which adds to a little bit of comfort. It's a nice seat. It's, you know, it's got the stitching on it and everything. I don't mind this seat at all for most of the rides. If you do start to ride more like, you know, 30 miles, 35 miles, it might start to get a little uncomfortable, and you might want to opt for like a Cloud 9 seat that I believe is gel filled. It's a bigger seat. I don't really feel like I want to do that because I like the aesthetics of this seat that go with the bike. So I'm not really sure I want to change that. Again, this is a folding bike. This latch just comes up like this, and then you pull this out, and the bike folds. And I'm sure you've seen these bikes fold plenty of times, so I'm not going to do that here, but it folds just like all the other bikes. And then you can take your battery out, or you can charge the battery on the bike itself if you want to do that. And let's see, you could it's got a quick release for the seat. You can just pull right out. And let's see what else. So this bike comes with these mud flap style. They're made out of plastic. They're kind of flimsy. This one's a little bit loose. I need to tighten it a little bit, but they get the job done. I mean, if you're worried about, you know, dirt splatting on your back or whatever, water, They will definitely protect you from that. I don't mind them at all. I kind of like the look of them. So they do the job. I don't know if they were trying to save on cost or weight, instead of getting, putting those metal ones, the ones that are more fitted to the tire. They went with these, but to me these flaps are non-important. I rather have all the other accessories that this bike comes with that they did not skimp on, like the the hydraulic brakes, and the seat, the nice seat, the handlebar grips. Everything else on this bike is I believe quality, and it's very comparable to the more expensive bikes out there with that brand name on them. So there you have it. Company's called G-Force, and you can just find them just doing a search, G-Force E-Bike. Their website will come up. You can get these bikes on Amazon. $12.99 is the price, free shipping. I'm not getting paid by G-Force, nor did they ask me to make this review. I just wanted to share my thoughts because I was thinking the same thing. I saw this bike, it was very appealing, but I wasn't sure because there wasn't many reviews on YouTube for this bike. So I felt I should just put one up there and just let everybody know that this is a great bike. I'm loving it. I'm riding it almost every day. They're very addicting. They make you want to go out and ride and explore different places. I can climb hills now, where before, you'd have to be in tip-top shape to be able to go climb hills. Now I can do it on this bike. I have no problem riding 40 miles on this bike with very little pedal assist. So yeah, I think this is a great bike for the price range of $12.99. Now I know there's other manufacturers like Electric, they're in the sub 1,000 range. There's something about that bike that just doesn't appeal to me, and I don't know if it's just I don't know if they have an aluminum frame or what kind of frame. It's just very shiny, and I just don't like the aesthetics of that bike at all. This G-Force bike, they're using I believe it's the 6061 aluminum, so it's light in that sense, and it's sort of like a matte black finish. It's not that shiny, cheap looking metal. So this is a really nice looking bike, and that was important to me. I might put what are these things called, a rack on the back, for when I want to go on maybe like a day ride or something like that. But other than that, I'll just leave it the way it is. And that's about it, folks. So hopefully you consider this bike if you're looking for a foldable bike option. It's a good choice, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So thanks.